2025 was a banner year when it came to buying bags. Some of it was due to a pre-tariff purchasing frenzy. Some of it was also due to a brand new YouTube channel. But whatever the case, I had a lot of bags. I had too many bags, and so I sold quite a few in Q1 of 2026. So these are the 18 bags that I sold, where I sold them, and if I lost money, broke even, or made some money. And hi, if you're new here, my name is Elaine, and on my channel, I like to talk about bags from mid-range to vintage luxury. And as you saw in my intro and in the thumbnail, today I'll be talking about all the bags that I sold in Q1. And I'd like to thank Melissa Adams Wade for the idea here. She also went over the bags that she sold in Q1 and the bags that she bought. I will not be going over the bags that I bought just because I don't know if I have enough time. This is not to say that I'm actually downsizing my collection or getting rid of it. It's just I did buy a lot, and so I am pretty quick to sell if I notice that I'm not using a bag or if I don't really love a bag. I'm just not a fan of bags sitting on the shelf. I did sell 18 bags, and so I'll start off with the ones that I sold through my Fairly Curated Closet. It is an Instagram account that I do use to sell certain items. I tend to sell not as expensive items, Hermes or things like that. It tends to sit, the audience on that, I feel, IG account is fairly small. But I also do give the best deals there because, of course, there is no middleman. So I sold my Louis Vuitton Monceau in dark green. I think that was one of the first things I sold this year. I broke even on it. Obviously, a lot of these that I sell on the IG account, I will not be gaining money from it because that doesn't make sense to me. I would not upcharge people who are following my very small account. So the next thing I sold was the RealReal compact wallet. I included all the tags, the box, the little shopping bag, and even added the third-party Etsy conversion kit to turn that little wallet into a crossbody bag. I sold that for a big loss, but that's the fair market value, right? And then I also sold an Hermes 12 backpack, which I actually really liked. I just never really used it because I'm not a backpack person, and I broke even on that. My other avenue for selling is eBay. So on eBay, I sold the RSVP Paris bucket bag, the low 5 bag in suede. I bought it off of eBay. I sent it back through eBay, but I did take about $100 loss on it. I think not even including the fees. It's just the price of it, really. The person I bought it from on eBay did not really disclose how worn it was. And so I didn't feel right selling it for the same price that I bought it for, considering how worn it was. So yeah. I also did sell the Stowe East West curve bag. I bought that off of eBay as well. Sold it back on eBay. For that one, I broke even. I did include fees and such in the price when I sold it on eBay, and I was able to break even because Stowe London had such a big price increase between the time that I bought it and the time that I sold it, so that I was able to break even. I also sold my Quince suede bag that I also reviewed at the same time that I reviewed the RSVP bucket bag. That one, I sold it for 50% of the price. It was fairly new, but if you've seen my other videos in the past, you know that I do get a lot of my Quince items on credit thanks to the affiliate program. And then I sold my Dress Up Your Purse Josette bucket bag. That actually sat for a very long time. I sold that at like a 50% loss as well, but it's I think it was like $350 bag. So 7 of the 18 bags I sold outside of the RealReal, and everything else here I sold through the RealReal. So I started with my Hermes Masai bag, and I'm not sure if I really talked about that bag on this channel. I'm a huge fan of shoulder bags, hobo bags in general, even Hermes hobo bags. I very much appreciate them, but that one was very floppy, almost too floppy. And I have a feeling that it's not, I don't think it was because it was so vintage. I do think Masai bags are made floppy, very squishy, fall down in a puddle if you just rest them down. I do like my hobo bags to have a little bit more structure. I mean, I'm a fan of the Gao bag from Hermes because it does have a little bit of structure. Even the trim, Hermes trim bag. So yeah, I sold that one. I did make a little bit of money off of that. I also sold the 24, 24, and the 29 size. I did a full review on it. That one sat for a very long time. So I think that was one of the first bags that I reviewed, and then I sent off to the RealReal to sell. And then it finally sold in Q1 of this year. And I did take a huge loss on that. I also sold my Hermes Constance 23 in box. I did talk about it in my Hermes 23 versus RealReal 23 review. And in that review, I said why I was selling the Constance, and it was because the Constance and the RealReal, they're sort of the same boxy bag for me, and of the two, I just much prefer the RealReal. I'm not a huge fan of the H clasp in general, both the looks and functionality. So I did sell it. I was able to gain a little bit of money off of that. I also sold a Louis Vuitton Papillon 30. I thought I would like the barrel style bag, but it was quite bulky under the arm. Funny thing about that is when I bought it off of Brandier, it came as a set. It originally comes with the mama bag and a baby bag. And so the mama bag was accepted, but the baby bag was deemed, I don't know if it was fake or whatever, but anyways, it got returned. So I do have the little baby Papillon bag. Not sure what to do with it. It's pretty cute. I might as well keep it, I guess. Use it as like a pencil case. But even with just the large Mama Papillon 30 selling, I did gain a little bit of money off of that. And if you're finding this interesting so far, and maybe you've seen some of my other videos in the past, I kindly ask that you consider subscribing since it really helps support this channel. Thank you. I also sold my Hermes Birkin 30. I bought that one off of the RealReal and sent it back to the RealReal. When they sold it, they added an extra $500 on the selling price, but all in all, my take home was a pretty big loss, like over $1,000, I think, which kind of hurts. I guess that's the price I paid to try out the Birkin. The next bag I sold was a Loewe Flamenco Hobo. Also sold it for a loss. Not a lot, but it wasn't great. I did find that Hobo to be quite heavy. I also sold the Bottega Veneta Sesta, which is like their mini, well, this was a smaller size, so it was like their tote. And then Trecciato leather. I did talk about it in my Bottega collection video. Yeah, I didn't love it. I hardly used it. I don't know if it was because it was white or if it was like a small floppy tote, but I just wasn't a fan. I broke even on that one. Next one I sold was the Hermes Bolide 35. I did like that one a lot. That was an Epsom, it was dark brown. It did fit a laptop. I just never really used it. I think for me, the 35 is just a little too large. Even the 31 feels a little big. I'd much rather go with a 31 than a 35. I'm open to getting another Bolide, but for now I'm good. I did make a little bit of money off of that one. Hermes Sacco. So that was in blue jean. I did talk about that early on in one of my videos. It was one of the bags. I said it was the bags that I was going to sell video, and then I held on to it because I was a little conflicted. I liked the Sacco. It was like actually a pretty good style. It kind of scratched the itch for a trim at the time because it is, you know, a shoulder hobo. But I ended up selling it because the blue jean color, as pretty as that is, it just really isn't one that I could incorporate into my outfits, or I never reached for it. So decided to let it go, and I did make a little bit money off of that. Last two here. I sold my Bottega Veneta Campagna bag. It was, I think, in the large size. It was dark brown in the fondant color. It was beautiful, but also very big. I used it like a couple times, but I didn't find it very useful because, again, it was quite large. Made a little bit of money off of it. And then last but not least, I did sell my Balenciaga First in purple. It just recently showed up in my So Nice I Bought It Twice video. And I do also have a colorful woven Balenciaga First. And as much as I loved the leather on that purple one, I think I might have mentioned it in that post, is that one of the things about Balenciaga bags is those handles. They get really sticky sometimes, kind of gross. And that one was definitely sticky, which made me not want to carry it. Anyways, that was my list of 18. I also did kind of calculate how many I bought in the first quarter of 2026, and that was 14. So net negative 4 bags, which is not enough, honestly, for me to like kind of contain my collection. So we'll see. I'm trying to get much better. My purchasing from Brandier has slowed down quite a bit. I am also now more likely to return bags instead of just holding on to them, hoping I will use them in the future. And I've also started borrowing bags, whether it's from the Bag Rental Switch, not sponsored, just an ongoing review, and from Sam from Bargain Hunting Blonde. So catch those reviews of the Atelier Auguste and the Polo Ralph Lauren bags that I borrowed from her. So, you know, I love bags. I love reviewing bags, but I do have to slow my roll here. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.